Hello everyone, welcome back to the homestead. In today's video I will be reviewing the Mosquito Magnet Patriot Plus, so stay tuned. So in the past we had a cheaper Bug Vac. I believe it was made by Coolitron, and to be honest it barely caught anything, somewhere around 15 mosquitoes. So the problem with that one, I think, was that the area where it sucked the air and mosquitoes in was so large that it just didn't have enough vacuum to actually pull the mosquitoes in. It essentially was the entire of the top of the Bug Vac, which was almost about the same size as this one, and it had a little hood over top that left about a half-inch gap or so all the way around, and so it was spreading. It didn't have a very large fan, and it was spreading that small amount of draw made by that small fan over a large area, so it essentially just wasn't sucking the mosquitoes in. So after trying that one out and realizing that it basically didn't work, we mostly went back to just using bug zappers, which work somewhat, but we still wanted a solution that would get a lot more mosquitoes. And we'd heard good things about some of the more expensive Bug Vacs. People were saying that they had drastically reduced the populations of bugs with these Bug Vacs. So the one we had was rather inexpensive. This one runs for almost $400. It's definitely on the more expensive side of Bug Vacs, although not the most expensive. And we decided, after watching and reading some other reviews, that we would give it a try. It seemed like some people had good success with it, and also just by looking at the design of it, if you see here, the intake for it is very small. It's essentially like that wide. So the fan inside of it is pulling a lot more air through a smaller area than that other one was pulling. And so I kind of thought, well, this one might work better, and people have said good things about it. So we decided to buy it and see if it would work. So we hooked it up. This one takes propane as well as a bait that goes right in here in this black centerpiece here. We hooked it up to the propane and ran a power cord to it. This is the corded version. Mosquito Magnet also makes another version that is cordless. And set it out for a week. And at the end of the week, when we checked it, I'll show you where the bug container is. So around on this side here, it has this clear lid, and if you pop up that, inside there's a basket. And it has this handy feature where when you open the lid, there's a little prong on here that pushes this down, so when the lid is closed, it sucks mosquitoes, but when you open the lid, it closes that so that none of your mosquitoes get away. Now we just recently emptied it, so there aren't too many mosquitoes in there. Probably somewhere around 100, maybe a little more. So at the end of the first week, we emptied them out, put them in a plastic bag, and weighed them. And by weight, we calculated there was about 4,800 mosquitoes in that Bug Vac, which is crazy. I mean, that's 1 week and catching 4,000 mosquitoes, almost 5,000. So we have had it running about 2 weeks, and I'll show you all that we have caught now. So this is what it has caught over about 2 weeks. There's about 6,400 mosquitoes in here by weight, and I mean that's about an inch to give a comparison. And I mean, that's a lot of mosquitoes. I'd hate to think of all those mosquitoes actually getting to bite me. So I'm very thankful that it has caught all those mosquitoes, and I'm going to go into a few things that I like and don't like about it. So, some of the things I liked, I already mentioned. I like that it has this cool little door here. So when the door is closed, that door opens and allows mosquitoes in, but then as soon as you open the lid, that closes. So that's one of the things I like about it. The lift out bug tray is really nice, that it's not just like a net like some of them have, but it's an actual like solid tray. It has a fairly high velocity fan in there, which is an upgrade over the other one we had, which didn't seem to have a very powerful fan. It has a smaller nozzle, and it takes propane. Some of them, I saw one of them that you have to hook up to a CO2 bottle, like bottled CO2, and I think that's just too inconvenient, especially since this one makes heat as it burns the CO2. So if you feel the top of it, it's actually warm. So some of the things I don't like about it. One of them is that I noticed a lot of the time when mosquitoes are flying around it, especially in the evening, they end up just pinging off the bottom of this, because the way this thing kind of goes down like a horn almost. I think if they'd made the bottom of it flush like that, and then just had the hole open up inside, that it would have caught the mosquitoes better. I'm not sure if you can actually see that, but there's actually one doing that right now. It's flying along the outside of it. But they end up flying down and into here. I don't think there's really anything else I don't like about it. In my opinion, having it corded is an advantage because you don't have to check on it as often, but for some people, I'm sure being able to put it somewhere you can't run electricity to would be handy. It does take those Octanol Bait. I don't know what you would call them, but the Octanol Bait things, I'll pull it out here if I can. It goes right up in there, and then it has this little cap that goes over top. So making sure you get fresh Octanol is really important. We've noticed with bug zappers and things like that, if you get old Octanol, it basically doesn't work, or doesn't work as well. This stuff is actually probably getting near due to being changed. You should change it about every 21 days, they say. To be honest, I think to keep it catching the maximum amount of mosquitoes, I would change it a little more often than that. But between the propane, burning the propane, which makes CO2, and the heat, and the Octanol, it really baits those mosquitoes in. So in conclusion, I think this was definitely a success. If you like this video, please don't forget to give it that thumbs up, share it with other people who you think might like it, and please don't forget to subscribe.